Hello and welcome to this presentation from Pluralsight. My name is Andrew Mallett, and in this module we're going to look at managing our GRUB2 bootloader. We're going to be taking a look at installing, configuring and troubleshooting the bootloader. GRUB is the Grand Unified Bootloader, and in CentOS 7 we're looking at GRUB2. We'll be looking at changing the kernel runtime parameters persistently and non-persistently. We've already seen that we can edit the bootloader during the boot phase, but we're going to be looking at how we can make persistent changes through in our GRUB configuration. Now, of course, as always, we're going to be making sure that this is cram-packed of really good demonstrations for you to learn from. So we'll be looking at how we can reinstall GRUB2 if we've got some kind of corruption through to the GRUB programs. We'll see how we can manage the default settings for GRUB2. We'll be looking at how we can manage GRUB2 with the command line utility grubby. So if we want to make configuration changes, how we can relatively easily make those changes. We can look at adding in passwords to our GRUB menu. We've already seen that it is possible to reset the root password, and maybe we're a little bit concerned about that. But don't forget, we should have our servers in the server room, and that offers a level of physical security. Of course, adding in passwords to GRUB is just another barrier that we might have to go through to gain access through to our system. And we'll be looking at creating our own custom GRUB2 menu entries. So to begin with, let's take a look at how we can reinstall GRUB2. We're working on my console, then if I gain administrative privileges, so I'll just SU for the moment and put in the root password and clear out the screen. We can then go through and see how we can reconfigure or reinstall GRUB. So working as root, we can use then the grub2-install command. And then we can specify where we want to install to. On BIOS-based machines, we're normally installing the GRUB bootloader through to the master boot record of the bootable device. So I can then go through and put in /dev/SDA. So it's SDA on my system, and again, if you're using VirtualBox, it's going to be SDA on your VirtualBox, but double check on your own system. We can see there that it's then doing it for our Intel-based BIOS, so this is for our BIOS-based machine. If we're using it on an UEFI-based machine, we would use yum reinstall grub2 minus EFI and shim, and we'll see that in the slides at the end. But in the practical based exams, again, they're likely to be virtual machines and they will be BIOS based. So with this then, we've re-added into the master boot record the GRUB bootloader. Now of course we didn't have any problems, but we should now be able to successfully reboot. In the next demonstration, we're going to be seeing how we can work with the GRUB2 defaults.